Good morning, you guys. Okay, so I had done a recording on this before, but I wanted to redo it. Pretty much what this is going to be is my way of kind of trying to bridge the gap between hairstylists and clients. I know that on one end we have our rules and our policies, and on the other end there are clients that feel like some of them are absolutely ridiculous. And as a stylist, I have seen some where I'd be like, okay, all right, I get it. So what I'm going to do in this particular video is I'm going to go actually through my website. I'm actually screen recording here. I'm going to go through my website and pretty much give you guys like a backstory or a story time as to why I have some of these. And I do want you guys to chime in. If you feel like something is unnecessary, I'd like to hear why. But only thing that I ask in this video is that you listen to understand before responding. None of my policies are here to offend anybody. I have a great clientele, so I don't have any issues with that. Me and my clients have a great relationship to where if there is something that they don't understand or they have an issue with, they do speak up and tell me. But I'd like to take this opportunity to create a little bit more understanding, so to where you guys understand like, oh, okay, this is why she has this. Because, we all say like, okay, if this is a rule, that means that someone's dealt with this before. But I feel like a lot of the time, as business owners, especially hairstylists, we feel like, oh, I don't got to explain myself to a client. And you don't. But I've just learned that particularly in my situation or in my chair, I've had a lot of a better rapport with my clients when they can understand why certain things are the way they are. And the ones that I'm really cool with, I've even told them, what has happened and what's going on. And I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. Okay, I completely understand. Oh yeah, I would have done this too if yada yada yada. So this is my booking site. I do use Acuity. I start off the page by saying, I'm so glad that you're here. In an effort to bring you a seamless experience, please be sure to read all service descriptions and studio policies when booking. The reason why I say this is because you and I both know that there are people that do not read, and then they get to you and they're confused about something, or they're like, oh, I didn't know. And, you just kind of get tired of saying, well, it was right there. So I have tried in the best way that I know how to let it be known that, hey, I know that there's a lot of information here. I tend to be very attention to detail, but I need you guys to follow along, because if you read this, then you'll know what you need or whatever you need to do, right? All right, so that's the very first page. My booking rules are simple. Your deposit is non-refundable. It does go towards the balance of your appointment. I know that there are some people that charge booking fees and not actual deposits, and they will tell you like, oh, it's $25, but it doesn't go towards your service. I don't think that that's fair. But of course, the deposit is non-refundable. I do allow you one reschedule. I used to be a little more lenient with that, but people will play with your time. I did have a young lady that literally for 2 years booked with me and never showed up to an appointment. She would just push the appointment back and push the appointment back and push the appointment back and push the appointment back. And it's just like, I actually want to do my job. I really do want to meet you. I do want to do your hair. And you're just holding up space for other people. So that is why I, in particular, have a non-refundable deposit. And on top of that, unfortunately, in a perfect world, I wouldn't have to charge a deposit. People would just book and show up. But sometimes my grandpa had this saying that, not all people are honest. And sometimes you need to encourage people to be a little more honest sometimes. So that's the first one. The second one is reschedules must be arranged 48 hours before your appointment. Late after 15 minutes is considered a no-show, and your deposit will be forfeited. Once again, the reason why I ask that you reschedule 48 hours prior is because that gives me time to put someone else in that spot. Now, I do understand things happen, and my clients will tell you, of course, all of this is kind of like on a discernment basis, but my clients will tell you that I really do try to be flexible. This is a big if, everybody might not agree with it, but hey, this is how I do my thing. If you are a returning client or a regular, I'm a lot more flexible, because I understand, and that doesn't mean that with the new people things don't happen, but we've now built a rapport where I know that you're not playing in my face. And a lot of the time, the regulars that have come to me, they'll be the first ones to say, hey sis, I know I asked for this, but I got called into work today and I'm not gonna be able to make it. That's completely different. I'm never going to penalize you for that. And I'll ask them like, okay, so what do you want to do? Is there another day? Yada, yada, yada. That's different. But like I said, a lot of these rules, honestly, between you and I, they were put in place for the newbies coming in because A lot of the time you have people that want your services, but they have no tie or relationship with you. So they don't really care how they affect you, but they want you to care how you affect them, right? And vice versa. But I'm just speaking from a hairstylist perspective right now. The second one, hair is provided for all braid styles. See bundle install deals if you need weave hair provided. I have talked about this before. I prefer to include the braid hair because number one, I know that the brand that I want is here. The length that I want is here. I know that the hair that I use is hypoallergenic and antibacterial, meaning my clients do not have black dye running down their heads. They don't have any itching or any issues like that. And then also, I would have, like I said, with the brand, I might have an issue in the past where I would be like, oh, I need this particular brand of hair. And the client may see the price of that and be like, oh, I don't want to use that. And then they're using a different kind and it's cutting my fingers and things like that. So that just kind of cut things out the way for me. Also, I don't require my clients to use my bundles, although I prefer to do so, but I do offer bundle install deals for that. And so it's a little cheaper for them, obviously, and I can guarantee, obviously, the quality of the hair in that case. So additional info, my number is there. Also, it does say I do not offer male grooming services. I've spoken about this before. Number one, I do work from home. And number two, I just have not had the best experience when it comes to dealing with some males. This is not all. This is why I'm using a big sum, but I in particular do not. But when I do run into males that would like my services, I do have colleagues that I can refer them to. And then, of course, no extra people or kids. You don't need anyone with you to get your hair done unless you're maybe disabled, and then we can have a conversation about that. Kids is just an absolute no-no because even the most quote-unquote well-behaved child, when you're not able to actively be on them, I have 4 kids. So I'm already overstimulated and I'm already triggered. I just don't want to be bothered. I like to have you to myself in your chair, just me and you, and that's it. Also, you will see here that it does say Sundays are reserved for VIP guests or regulars. I do call my regulars VIP guests. And it does say that it must be booked via text because obviously if I left it because of the way acuity is, there's no way to say, okay, this particular calendar can only book by these people. So I have it like that. Part of the reason why I do that is number one, I do have a lot of clients where they can only get to me on a weekend. And so I like to show priority to my VIP clients because once again, these are the ones that are coming to me consistently. These are the ones that are keeping the lights on. These are the ones that are promoting me. These are the ones that are looking out. These are the ones that are shooting me extra tips. These are the ones that have become an integral part of my business. And it's my way of showing my appreciation so that they're not, in the rat race of trying to get an appointment because I do get booked up pretty fast. So this just makes it a lot easier for some of them. And it enables them to be able to get into a spot a lot sooner than maybe having to wait. Because sometimes, depending on the time of the year, I may be booked out a month or 2 months in advance. And then I'm having to create squeeze-in spots. And then I burn myself out. So that's part of what that is for. And then number two, obviously, I do let my regulars know that on Sundays, the entire family is here. And so obviously, a lot of them have become family. They've been around my kids. They've been around my husband. So it's not a thing where we're all on edge. It's more of a like, oh, my auntie such and such is here getting her hair done. It's a much more relaxed situation, I would say, for the both of us, but especially myself because I don't have to. It's almost like doing your homegirls hair is the way that I kind of feel like. And then it's just pictures. I also have a wait list here. I do my wait list. I created my wait list through Google Forms. It's been the best thing I could ever do. And then same thing, I do obviously show priority to my regulars first because I know that they will show up. And if they can't, they won't waste my time. They'll say, hey, thank you so much. But unfortunately, yada, yada, yada. Whereas you have new people, they don't know you, so they don't care about you. And when you reach out to them or whatever about the wait list that they filled out, half of them don't even respond. So there's that. Let's see, what else? Then it also says, please note, I do not service anyone under 18. Failure to adhere will result in cancellation of refund and forfeiture of deposit. Okay, so the reason being is I have story times on my page where every single time I have been lenient or I've said, hey, I'm going to accept child clients again, it is always something. So with the younger kids, you get a lot of parents, and I do as a parent sympathize and understand, but as a professional, it can be very stressful. And I am a person where if it doesn't make me happy or I don't enjoy doing it, I won't. So a lot of the time, parents get excited and they want to book you, and then they're hoping that their kid is going to acquiesce to what is happening, and they usually don't. And it just creates a very stressful situation for me. I've had some children where I don't know if maybe their parents didn't exercise certain boundaries with them or what have you, but they get here and they don't act how I guess I'm expecting them honestly to act. And a lot of the time the parents are sitting right there and the kid is either screaming or squirming or crying or being disrespectful or trying to walk around my house, or they go use the bathroom and they're in the cabinets, and it's just not a comfortable environment for me. And then I get to a place where now I'm not excited about doing their hair. I'm just trying to hurry up and get them done and get them out of here. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to my teenagers are really never the problem. In all of these situations, the kids are never the problem. It's obviously the parents. But with my teenagers, what happens is the moms will book one service. And then let's say that the teenager comes in. Let's say, okay, like a kid books a ponytail. I mean, the parent books a ponytail for their teenager. And I'd be like, oh, okay, what kind of ponytail do you want? And then they show me a picture, right? They show me the picture, and then I do like the picture that they showed me. Okay, well then mom will text and be like, thank you, Tay, I love it so much, but I actually wanted her to get XYZ. But they never sent me that, and they never said anything. All they said was, I want such and such to get a ponytail, and she'll show you when she get there. Also, another thing too is sometimes you have kids that are either mom is going to work, which I'm not, once again, none of this is anything that I'm upset about. It's just things that I've learned over time. This is my way of just rectifying those situations. But mom may have to go to work, so she's going to drop the kid off. Okay, what happens then is either you have, I've had situations with the fathers where they're annoyed that they have to pick the kid up. They didn't know. So then they take their sweet ass time, and I have my own children that I need to go pick up at a certain time, and I'm not going to leave your kid here, and I'm not going to leave your kid. So then I've become babysitter after the appointment is done. Another thing too is sometimes parents will send the kids with money, but they don't send the kid with the entire amount, and then I have to go after the parent for the remainder. There's things like that. So it's just, I would like to deal with autonomous adults where you are the one that paid me. You are the one that knows how much your appointment is. You are the one that can make certain decisions for yourself. And I don't really have to go through all the rigmarole. So that's how it is for me. Then obviously all my services and stuff are down here. So I'm just going to click something random because I need to click it in order to get to my policies. This is how my website works. So we're just going to click this one and we'll click a random date. All right. So then, all right, boom. So the very first thing, of course, like I said, is braid hair is included. It does tell you that if you don't, or ask you like what color braid hair would you like. If you don't know the specific name, or you don't know like whatever, especially like I said with me having the brand, or you don't know the color number like 1B, 2, 4, whatever, you can just upload a picture, or you can upload a picture of your own hair and I can color match it. I do a pretty good job of doing that. And if I'm not sure, I will ask you. All right, boom. Okay, so day of appointment and shop policies. Once again, and I put this in multiple places. Please read in its entirety. Failure to do so will result in cancellation of forfeiture of deposit. I really, 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 really force this because people will do all of this. They'll just click, pay, and then when they get to you and things are not the way that they're expecting it to be, then they're disappointed, but it's because they didn't read. So obviously we already talked about anyone not being serviced will not be permitted. You're not being serviced. There's no reason for you to be here. And unfortunately, some people are very dishonest, and I've had issues of theft in the past. Number 2, come with your hair taken down and detangled. I should be able to take you straight to the wash bowl without having to wrestle with matted hair first. I will cancel your appointment if you are not wash ready. The reason why I even have to have this here is because I've had people in the past that come with, when I'm talking about literal matted hair, and I don't mind detangling, but if it takes me 30 minutes to detangle your hair, we're now going to be running late. Whereas opposed to, I should be able to comb through it real quick, get you washed, get you under the dryer to deep condition. I've also had clients as well show up with like full beehives, and they're expecting me to just sit here and wait for them to take their beehives down. And like I said, it just runs into other people's appointment. And my clients will tell you I'm really big on time and I'm very punctual. I do not play with you guys' time. Changes to your appointment must be made no later than 24 hours before your scheduled start time. Changes will only be honored if time permits. Obviously, this is because you will have people that will be like, they'll book a partial weave a month out, and then 2 days before be like, oh, I think I want box braids. We can't make a 2-hour appointment into a 5-hour appointment. It doesn't work like that. If I can accommodate you, I most definitely will, but I never promise that, because I do book, and I do book back to back to back to back to back. I like my day to just go like this and then I be done. Let's see. If you did not book a bundle shampoo service, bundles need to be washed and dried upon arrival. Greasy hair will not be installed. Obviously, I've had this before where a young lady booked a quick weave of all things, and all of her bundles were wet and oily. And it just made for just a not good experience. And like, once again, I don't, if I can do you the solid, I will. But I always tell people, do not expect it from me, and I cannot promise it, because if I have a client right after you, now I got to take the time to wash your bundles. Now we got to wait for your bundles to dry. You didn't book that service, that adds on the extra time for me to do so. And a lot of the time, my clients will tell you, like, if they know ahead of time, some of them might be like, oh my God, sis, I got off of work late, yada, yada, yada. And I'll be like, okay, well, just wash them for me and we could dry them under the dryer. Because if I'm finna do your beehive, they can dry under the dryer. Part of the reason why I require most people to come with their bundles dried is because a lot of them will literally sit through the whole service, y'all. Sit through the whole service, get the beehive braided, get the net sewed on, and then hand me a bag of wet hair. Now I got to put it under the dryer and wait. All of this is cutting into time, and there is someone after you. We do not play to sit in the salon or sit in the chair and have somebody else just sitting there staring at you. I leave at a certain time to get my children, and I will not be late to getting to them. You guys have me for 8 hours. So that's how that is for me. Then, of course, I just tell you guys what I expect as payments, because people will still go, how do you want to get paid, when it's right there. I tell everybody I accept everything except for checks and EBT, pretty much. Please make sure your contact info is correct. I need to be able to contact you regarding any changes or questions about your appointment. If I can't ask you what color braid hair you need, I'm supposed to get your braid hair. If I texted you your confirm or the email, or if I texted you the address to your appointment and you don't respond, how do I know that you got it? If something happens to come up and I need to move you up some or move you back some, or see if maybe you want to come in for an earlier appointment and I can't get a hold of you, what am I supposed to do? This one is very important, and I really suggest that all clients do this. I mean, all service providers do this. But I do have it here where it says, if you have any medical conditions that may require emergency treatment, i.e. epilepsy, low oxygen, etc., please leave me an emergency contact. Torrance Memorial is the closest hospital to my location, and I will have you sent and refer your family there. Because although we don't expect anything to happen, although we expect to have a successful appointment, you just never know. I've never had anything too crazy happen, but I did have a client one time that, like, her scalp is really sensitive when she gets pregnant, and she was literally like a week from being due, and I just knew she was going to have that baby on the floor. So there's things like that. And I do have a family member that is epileptic, and my first question is always, okay, what do I need to do? What happens? Yada, yada, yada. So here, listen, I'm not a medical professional. I do hair. If something was to ever happen, the first place you're going is the Torrance Memorial. That's how it is. Another important fact, if you are unhappy with your service, please let me know before leaving your appointment so adjustments can be made. Sometimes you'll get home and notice something, no problem. Alert me within 24 hours so that we can fix the issue. The reason being is sometimes people don't want to tell you, oh, I don't like this here. And I get it. You don't want to offend the person doing your hair, but you are walking around with this. You are the one that have to go outside with this. And if you do not feel confident, what did you pay your money for? Right? So you have clients that don't like baby hair. You have clients that wanted more baby hair, what have you. So what I do now, and I never really did it before, which I don't know why, but now before you leave, I will spin you around. I'll show you. I'll tell you, get up. There's a mirror behind you. Look with your mirror. You know, is there anything that you don't like? Is there anything that you would like me to change? I do have a video on my Instagram where a friend of mine had got her hair. What did we do? I think we did some braids. We did some knotless, I think. And she was like, okay. I said, I don't like that. Okay. What is that okay for? And she was like, I mean, I could have used a couple of more baby hairs or something. And I'm like, well, you just say something. Like, you can't bother me, you know? So there's that. And then another thing too is that, you may, the lighting in here may be different. You may get in your car and realize, you know what? I don't like my part right here. Or whatever it is, let me know. I've had clients that will literally send me something 3 weeks later and be like, oh, the wrap on my ponytail came off. Okay, well, it's 3 weeks later. It's old. It's supposed to, now my wraps stay now, but So there's things like that. So that's the reason why I have that, because there are some people that would literally go get their hair done, go to the club, sweat it out, and then be like, oh, my hair's messed up, I need a redo. You know. So a lot of this is not only making sure that the client has a satisfactory experience, but that you're protecting your business as well. So late policy, I've already explained it, but I'll go through it again. I do not charge a late fee. After 15 minutes on the dot, your appointment is canceled and your deposit is forfeited. The reason why it is not 15 minutes is because in the past, I would give people an hour. I would give people 30 minutes. People still would play in my face. Even when I get in 15 minutes, you know what they do? I had one lady that her appointment was at 11. She thought it was at 11:30. I gave her the grace of, okay, you know what? Well, if you can make it here by 11:30, I'll still take you. The lady did not show up till 12 o'clock. Cancel. That's why I said there's no exception to this policy, because when I have made exceptions, people have played in my face. Please be sure to take note of the address. Going to the wrong location is not a valid excuse and will count towards your grace period. I send an email that says, or text message that says, hello, love. It is Tay. The address for your appointment tomorrow is yada, 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 yada. I had people, when I closed down my shop, that did not read my text message and would still drive to the shop. What did I send you a text message for? That is why that is there. In the event that it's so funny because every time I even make a video on this, I go viral and people have something to say, which is odd, but whatever. I am a person that holds myself to the same standard that I expect of my client. I cannot ask anything of you guys that you guys cannot ask of me. So in the event that I am late or running behind, I do deduct $1 for every minute after 15 that I run into your appointment. There are no exceptions for myself either. Because if after 15 minutes you are canceled, what happens if I'm 15 minutes? Even though I'm early late, I still hold myself to that standard. And then obviously, there's a little thing here that you check that says, I have read and agreed to the terms above, and I understand that if I am not at the door by the 15-minute mark, my appointment will be canceled and my deposit will not be returned to me. Why? Because you know that people will be like, oh, I'm here. And I already be standing outside waiting on you at the gate, and you are not here. And I give it a couple of minutes, and I sit here and do this. Now we're 30 minutes. I think some people feel like with the grace period, they be like, oh, well, you said the grace period was 15. It was only 5 minutes. Baby, that's 20 minutes now. That's not 5 minutes. All right. Next one, reschedules and cancellation policy. I've spoke about this before, but like one thing that I've learned just in business is put things in multiple places because people will act like they didn't see it. And sometimes they don't. Your deposit is non-refundable and does go towards the balance of your service. Some services do request the full balance up front. This is considered the deposit. This is like your bundle services or specials, right? It does say it here too, but I will just say it beforehand. Part of the reason why bundle services obviously are a thing that you pay in full is because number one, you're getting a deal. And number two, if you are putting a $50 deposit down on a $700 service, for instance, and you flake on me, now I'm just sitting here with hair doing nothing. Let's see, where'd it go? Okay. Oh, and well, I'll get to it because it is there somewhere. You are allowed one reschedule under your deposit. We've explained that. I already talked about that. No more than 30 days from your original appointment, because you will have somebody that will book a service in March and they'll be like, ooh, you know what? I changed my mind. And then they'll book the shit all the way in December somewhere. And then they don't show up to that one. We don't have time for that. You are allowed to reschedule up to 48 hours before your scheduled appointment time. You can do so through your confirmation email. You don't need me for that. It's already there. And it tells them how to do it. In the event that I am no longer available, I will first reach out to you to reschedule. If you choose not to, or we cannot agree on a date or time, your deposit will be refunded back to your original payment method. I feel like that is fair. And I'm very thorough, so I know some people will get information overload, but I like to make sure that y'all know everything up front. So PayPal refunds you immediately. Credit and debit card payments take 3 to 5 business days, and you will receive a receipt of refund to your email the day that it is processed. I do tell people that in the event that you do not receive your deposit, please contact your deposit refund. Please contact your bank. Some people reach out to me anyway. I am not the bank, but I will reach out to my payment processor to make sure that at least the refund was processed and deposited on my end. Let's see. If you are late past the 15-minute mark or need to cancel anytime after the 48-hour mark, it is considered a same-day cancellation, at which point your deposit is non-transferable. And that's pretty much just paying me for time wasted. If you pay for your appointment in full, there it goes. The balance, your balance minus the deposit will be refunded back. So for instance, if you book a weave and you pay the full $250 up front, The deposit is only $50. You will get the $200 refunded to you. This does not apply to services that require full payment up front. Now, for that, like for instance, so like if you do a bundle deal or whatever, your bundles will be mailed to you. I don't keep anybody's like bundles or whatever, or you can come pick them up. I don't really have that problem, but it is there because, I don't take for granted that my regulars handle business with me one way and then others do not. So let's see. And then same thing. I have it everywhere because I need you to confirm that you read this stuff. I have read and agreed to the terms above, and I understand that failure to adhere to this policy will result in automatic cancellation of the payment, and my deposit will not be refunded to me. You cannot tell me that you did not know it. It is right there. Filming for social media purposes. This is uber important. I think it is a thing that I myself took for granted in the past, where you will just set up your camera, turn your camera on, be like, yeah, this is going to be fire. And you don't realize that your client is uncomfortable. And some clients, like I said, they don't want to offend us. So they don't want to tell us that they're not comfortable being recorded, but you can tell in their body energy. I will never forget a really close client of mine. I didn't know at the time what she was going through because she's always let me record. But this one particular time, I think we were doing a quick weave. I can't remember exactly the service that we were doing, but I turn the camera on, y'all. I'm on live or whatever, and she's literally doing this. Like, she's cowering. And I'm like, so I ended up getting off live. And I didn't talk to her about it that day because I really didn't know how to take it or what was going on. But she ended up coming back to me. She ended up telling me, like, I didn't want to say anything at the time, but I had just got out of this really bad relationship, and the person that I was dealing with was abusive, and they have sent their family members to kind of watch me. So she was like, she kind of felt uncomfortable when I went live because, she's one of those ones, she has like a Finsta, and she didn't want them to know that she was coming to me because she didn't want them to know where she was and where she was going. So now what I do is I have it here because if a person is not looking you in the face, they don't feel so pressured to say yes. So it does say, first thing it says is you are not obligated to be filmed. This does not affect your appointment in any way. So in other words, don't feel bad for telling me no. You can't hurt my feelings. I don't give a damn how fire comes out. I get it. And the internet is very freaking evil. And, I've been made fun of for my thin edges. I've been made fun of for my acne scars, what have you. So it does take a lot of courage for a client to allow you to set that camera up and turn it on because they don't know, just by wanting to get their hair done and be around you and feel good about themselves, they don't know what kind of weird energy they're going to get from the internet that day. You get people that say the stupidest things. I did a braid tutorial for someone and all they could talk about, she had a tragus piercing like mine, and she had a backing on hers, and people just swore up and down her ears were dirty. Like, it's just stupid stuff like that. Like, nobody has time for it. And these people are not coming to you for that. So for me, it just makes it a lot easier for me to just ask ahead of time, and it's in the booking so that they don't feel pressured. If they don't like it, they can easily click no and go on about their business. I do tell them that pictures are always taken. Now, for myself, I do that because fraud is a thing. So I do need to be able to tell my payment processor in case a chargeback is filed. They're like, hey, they was here. Here's a picture of such and such. It was her. She was here. And then it does say, if you are uncomfortable, I will request you cover your face. This is in regards to full-length videos, how-to videos and tutorials, Instagram and Facebook Live, etc. And then it says, are you okay with your service being filmed? If they say no, I will not turn that camera on. If they say yes, I still will. No, well, they can see me setting it up ahead of time. My clients also know that I do not do anything to try to embarrass them. So for instance, if I have a client where they might be sleepy and they look mad the whole service, that's not content I'm going to post. I do have some, we all know people like this. I feel like myself, I'm one of those people. Some people don't record well. Some people don't photograph well. They take better pictures of themselves than you do of them. And there are some clients where their hair will be amazing, but how they look here may not reflect the same on camera. And I'm not going to do my client a disservice. I don't require my clients to come with full faces of makeup. I'm not the aesthetic hairstylist that be like, oh, I need a certain look, a certain hair type. I'm not like that at all. I deal with regular working people, women that are in school, moms, both, et cetera, et cetera. And so for that, if I notice that, like, for instance, that your acne is just on 10 that day, and I can't necessarily edit or filter that out for, to avoid the mean people, then I just won't post that video. Or sometimes if I get a better shot of the back of your head, then I'll do that. There's that. If I notice, and this is just me being transparent, you might have that client that got tartar in their teeth. If they're smiling, that's not something that we put on the internet, because while I don't judge, the internet does. So there's that. You might have a woman that has a mustache, and while sis might be comfortable with that mustache, the internet ain't. So I never put my clients in a position to be made fun of. And if I have an alopecia client, especially, I do not turn my comments off, but I am one of those ones that I'm very quick to see things, and you will be blocked immediately. So that is my website, my rules, my policies. Please let me know what you guys think. If you have anything that you'd like to see, any hair tutorials that you'd like for me to film, any advice, story times, etc., leave them in the comments below, and I will definitely make a video for that. I pray that you guys all have a beautiful and blessed day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.